Good afternoon, YouTube world. I'm your host, Paul Italia. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Before we introduce today's special guest, I'd like to run through the sponsors. If you haven't already, get over to griparmsports.com. Check out all their clothing line. They got some new straps and all. Use the code Italia15 and receive 15% off. Some arm wrestling handles. Go check out gripzilla.com. Use the code Paul10, receive 10% off. And of course, if you got any injuries or anything like that, check out VitaCell Biologics for stem cell treatment. I'll attach the link in the description. So it is my pleasure to introduce today's special guest. He is a young up-and-coming superstar in our arm wrestling world. He has a big super match this weekend at East vs. West 8. Rino Masic, welcome, brother. How are you?
Hi, Paul. Thank you for having me. I'm doing good.
I want to first start off with your basic details, brother. Your age and how long you've been arm wrestling for.
As of currently, I am 18 years old, and I've been arm wrestling for about 4.5 years now.
Wow, 18, bro. I had no idea. I knew you were young, but I didn't realize 18. And holy crap, bro. To be at the level you are at 18 years old is very, very impressive, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
So kind of give me a summary. How did you find arm wrestling?
Well, I tried out a bunch of team sports, football, basketball, handball, and a bunch of others. And I just didn't like relying on other people's efforts in training and, trying to be the best version of themselves. And then what would happen often, it was that we would go on a championship and we would lose because some of the guys from the team were not prepared well enough. And then the guys that actually were preparing really well just kind of couldn't do anything because of those people. So I was starting to trying to find some solo sports, and then I came across arm wrestling because it's a family tradition. My dad's side of the family actually started the first arm wrestling club here in Croatia, and they really kind of introduced me to the sport. And that's where I got hooked. And at the age of 13, I started training.
Wow, what a story, bro. And to know that your parents also were arm wrestlers and well. Did your dad, was he very competitive? Like, what was his highest level as an arm wrestler?
Yeah, they were all really competitive. They didn't reach a huge peak. At that time, there were just no real big competitions happening around Croatia and outside, but my uncle did actually he I think was a European championship champion on I think the left hand. I don't know what year it was, but that was the peak of their kind of progress and what they managed to do.
Okay, I also seen that you are a European champion. Are you also a world champion?
Yes, I'm a junior world champion, and I'm a senior vice champion. So I was second, right behind Ongarbayev on the left hand last year.
Wow, that is pretty amazing, brother. So kind of give me how did you get to this elite level so quick at such a young age? Is it that your family was in arm wrestling from the beginning, so kind of was like bred into you, or was it like something that you do for training? Because I did watch your YouTube videos and I see all your great training videos. I've been using them recently and really detailed. If you haven't already, get over to his YouTube channel. Very knowledgeable in all the different exercises and all. But so how did you get to this elite level so quick, bro?
Well, I think it does have something to do with my genetics from my family, but I wouldn't really say that that's all that is responsible for my success. I definitely have to give my hats off to my mentor, Andrija Šimić. He actually introduced me to the right way of training for arm wrestling, and he actually started arm wrestling as well with my dad's side of the family, and he continued. and he became my mentor when I was like 14. And at 14 years old, I actually started training arm wrestling for real, really serious. I took it extremely seriously, and I didn't skip a day of training from the day that I started. I might like rest for maximum like 1 day a week, and I never stopped really using his program and his way of training since I started.
That is pretty cool. Wanted to know, what do you mean by mentoring? Is this like hands-on training? Does he get on the table with you? Like, kind of give us a little background and what he does as a mentor for you.
Well, he's there to always like support me, to give me tips, to show me new exercises that he finds and new techniques that he finds. And of course, he introduced me to that training method. That's like one of the biggest parts of my training, is that his training method. And yeah, I think his biggest role is just simply to be like my mentor by teaching me still stuff that I didn't learn about arm wrestling, about new techniques, and about new exercises that he finds.
That is great. And I really encourage new arm wrestlers out there. If you could find maybe a coach or a mentor, it definitely speeds up the progress.
Yeah,
and definitely.
for sure.
I actually was blessed when I first got into the sport. I was actually trained with Engin Terzi, being the first year
Wow.
in the sport, and having Engin as a coach. What an amazing experience. And, I definitely
Yeah.
learned a lot. It was all through on the phone and FaceTime videos and all, but it definitely helped me out a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Reno, I kind of want to find out, who are some of the OG arm wrestlers, so to say, that you used to follow? Like, is there anybody that, like, who's your favorite old-time arm wrestler?
Well, of course, I used to follow Devin in the early days, and John Brzenk as well. But someone who like really inspired me to get really strong and end my matches fast and all the flash pins is Arsen Liliev. He's definitely one of my like inspirations I just love the way he arm wrestles and the way that he handled most people in his class and even like above his classes. The way he flash pins people, that's something that really stuck out to me. But definitely what got me started when I was like 13, I started training on my own. I was watching Devin's videos, Coach Ray as well, Yanis, and all of those guys. I took some exercises that they made videos on, and that's how I started.
That's great. And wanted to know, how is when you first began 4 years ago, what was the state of arm wrestling in Croatia? Is it a very big thing? Is there a lot of people participating, or it's more like underground and not so much as many pullers there?
Well, when I started, it wasn't really that big of a thing. There were people, of course, competing, and there is a pretty good level in Croatia, I would say. Every time I go to the nationals, it's not really super easy for me. I always have someone that is kind of worrisome in my class and that I should be careful around. But as time went on, definitely the level in Croatia has risen and gotten a lot better. And the sport is getting more and more popular every day, especially now that we're like more out there with the media and on television and all that stuff. Our president of our Arm Wrestling Federation, Aleksandar Jakovac, he really pushes the sport, and he doesn't give up until he won't, of course, give up until the sport is like on a really high level here in Croatia.
And what is your goals in arm wrestling? Are you trying to be the top arm wrestler in the world? Are you trying to be the top in your weight class? Kind of give me an idea where you want to be.
Well, some ultimate dream would definitely be being the number one in the world. That's what I'm striving for, and I think it might be possible with help of some definitely some like changes to my diet and all of that other stuff, but that would be like my ultimate goal. But right now, some like tinier goals that I have that I set along the path of being the number one in the world is like getting 4 medals now in the World Championships in Kazakhstan.
And what weight class do you compete at?
I compete in the youth class 90 plus kilos and in the senior class 110 kilos.
Okay, let me just check how much that. Do you know how much 90 kilograms is in pounds by any chance?
No, I have no idea.
I'm gonna
No.
check real quick first, just so I get an idea. So that's 100. Oh wow, 198 pounds. That's where I compete also. Wow. Definitely
Yeah.
don't go see you on the table on the other side of the table. I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
So
luckily I'm not at that weight. I'm way heavier. I'm like at 115 when I'm like not cutting weight for competition, but usually I cut to 110. So that's where I'm at.
okay. How did you get on this East versus West card? We all know this is like the top stage of our sport and all. And you being 18 years old, I'm pretty sure that's got to be the youngest athlete to be in East versus West. So how did it all happen? Did Engin hit you up? Did somebody, get you connected in?
Yeah, Engin actually firstly wanted to make a match with me and Bacho, and that would have been amazing. But Bacho backed out because he wanted to prepare for Worlds. Then he was trying to find someone else to substitute Bacho, and it was between Oleg Petrenko and someone else, but I forgot. And then he found Terence, which is a great substitute in my opinion. And that's how I really got on the stage. And Engin actually contacted our president of our federation, Arm Wrestling Federation here in Croatia, and that's how I got on the stage.
So you have a match against Terence Opperman, and he's from South Africa. And I was just taking a look at some of his arm wrestling clips out there, and damn, bro, he's got pins on John Brzenk, and he's got some serious pins. I think Monster Michael Todd. Definitely been around for a while and all. So
yeah,
that have you a little nervous at all? Or are you going in confident? Where are you at with your as far as your abilities and all?
well, of course, I view Terence as one of the legends of the sport, especially when he started competing so long ago and has wins over some of the top guys from that time and even from this time. But that was years ago, and I think Terence is not the same as he was before, so I'm not as worried. But I'm definitely not going into the match like super confident, because that I'm known for being overly confident and then like something screws me up in the match and then I lose. So I definitely learned my lesson. Like last week, I was in Zagreb, the capital city of Croatia, and there was a ZG strong competition, and I was too confident, and then I lost to Kamil Jablonski, the Polish giant. I'm not sure if you know about him.
He's got that crazy fast, right? Really fast.
And I lost because I was just being a bit too confident, and I wasn't taking him seriously when he actually is a serious opponent. So I'm definitely going into the match with Terence a bit less confident, a bit more alert, and I definitely learned my lesson from that match with Kamil.
How long have you had to prepare for this match?
Well, I don't really prepare for any matches or any tournaments. I constantly train. There's like no end to my training. I don't take rests or anything. And I do think that that's one of the reasons that I've like gotten strong so fast, is that I don't take breaks in between championships. Like some people would start preparing for a championship or for a match a month or two before, but I prepare all throughout the year. I don't stop training at all, and that's how I prepared for Terence.
Let me ask you. I know you said you train throughout the year, but now you have a match this weekend. do you shut down gym training and table time? And how long before your match do you shut down?
Well, usually I would do it 3 days before I travel to the place that we were going to arm wrestle at. But this time I took a bit of a longer break because I had some table time with my mentor, and then my tendons got really sore, and then I needed more rest. But I rarely do table time. I really try to minimize it to the maximum. So as less table time as possible. For me, at least, that's what how it works. But even if I do have some table time, I don't pull super hard. I just go nice and slowly, and I go over some techniques with the person that I'm arm wrestling with, and I rely more on training with weights.
So now, is this year round you don't do much table time, or you're just saying as you're getting close to your match, you kind of dial back?
All around the year, because simply because when I do table time, it hinders me so much with the pain that I have from my tendons that I like miss a week of training that would have been much more effective at getting me stronger and other stuff as well than that one day of training that I had with someone. So that's why I definitely prefer weights over arm wrestling with someone.
And how many days a week are you in the gym lifting weights?
Well, probably like seven every day of the week, just because I have so much free time and I don't have anything better to do. But it's not every week that it's like that. Sometimes I do need to take a rest, especially when the weights that I lift get closer and closer to my 1 rep max. That's when like pain in the tendons and in my elbow get really bad, and I can't simply continue lifting. But yeah, somewhere between 6 and 7 days a week, and for 3 to 4 hours a day.
So that leads me to ask, is this what you do full time? Are you a full-time arm wrestler for a living, or you also have a job?
I don't have a job yet, and arm wrestling, I do have some income from arm wrestling, but not enough for a living, not yet at least. I hope to one day, of course, live from arm wrestling. But I'm now going to college, and that's definitely going to, I think, slow down my progress a bit, as I'm going to have a lot less time for training, but I'm going to try to like work around that as much as possible and continue training as much as I can.
I also remember hearing that you were supposed to have a match against Bacho, and I heard that was because he is concentrating on WAF right now. But can we expect to see that match anytime soon? Because I know the whole community really wants to see this, especially after Bacho's last performance at East vs. West, when he just went right through Adam Warzinski. And, we all know Adam as one of the top arm wrestlers in North America. And Bacho kind of just made easy work to him, so to say. And that was very impressive. Then we've seen Engin set the match with you and Bacho. So everybody's like, who's this Reno guy? I mean, he's got to be the next big thing. And, watching your videos, it's holy crap. Both of you two are like the phenoms coming up. Do you have experience pulling Bacho?
No, I don't have experience pulling Bacho, but we will definitely meet, I think, at the Worlds in the youth class. Except if he doesn't cut weight or anything like that to go under 90 kilos, which I believe is no problem for him. But we will definitely meet there, and there we will actually have a match. But I don't have experience pulling anyone like him. I actually pulled with his brother at Europeans in Moldova. I met him, and then we pulled just a little bit like for fun. And all the Georgians have massive hands. I don't know what's that all about. It's like in their genes or something. I just can't believe it. Like there's a 15-year-old guy with just a massive hand, and I myself have like small hands, and that definitely doesn't go to my way. But I will work. I will find a way around that, definitely.
How old is Bacho? Do you know?
I think he's 18 as well.
Wow. Okay. This is going to be a good one when it finally goes down. And do you see yourself as being the favorite in that match?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think people would consider me the favorite because I think a lot of people know more about Bacho than me. And like Bacho is Levan's cousin and all of that. And he's a Georgian. He's training with the top guys. So I think in a lot of people's eyes, I think I wouldn't be the favorite, but I do consider myself to be the favorite.
Okay. And we got a question from France Q. He says, what college will you be attending?
I will be going to a college for a wait, how do you say it in English? Just give me a second. For a massage therapist, something like that.
Okay. Very good. And that definitely comes in handy in the arm wrestling world.
Yeah, yeah.
College. And then we have another from Couch Apple. He says, I certainly hope Reno continues to be active on his YouTube channel. I love his training technique explanation videos. And I second that, bro. I definitely been following all your training videos. Very, very knowledgeable. I love how you break it down with all the detail and all. Definitely helping me out. And I still can't get over that you're only 18 years old, bro. Like that is pretty next.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to talk about this big card coming up this weekend, East versus West 8, set by Engin Terzi. And wow, he's put some amazing matches together. And my question is for you is, besides your match, what other match on this card really excites you?
Well, the matches that excite me of course, are the main matches. I think that Morozov versus Georgi Tsvetkov is pretty good. It's too bad that Krikinia got hurt, Gennady. But I think it will be no less interesting to see Morozov versus Georgi. And who else? I think that
Yeah,
an interesting.
I want to put you on the spot, Reno. Who do you think is going to get the win, man? Is Artem Morozov gonna win and beat Georgie, or is Georgie gonna surprise the arm wrestling community and give it to Artem?
Oof, it's very hard to tell. Georgie is someone who has a massive wrist. His hand is big, but his wrist is enormous. Like I've spoke to him and been with him in person, and I rarely do I meet anyone that can like hold his top roll back and to kind of neutralize his back pressure and top roll. But Morozov might be the one to do it, and it could happen. The only issue is like Georgie has some problems with like finishing the matches. He is often left like inches from the pad, not even like able to nudge the person down. So it could go either way, but I do think that Morozov might win this simply on endurance and because he's more versatile than Georgi. But I definitely am rooting for Georgie because he's my friend and we know each other from a long time ago.
Very nice. And another little tad bit of info that I want to put out there for everybody is Engin just went on video saying that Artem Morozov has been having some stomach issues and he's lost a significant amount of weight, and he's only able to eat soup right now. So I believe that could be a big factor in this match.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
believe he's down probably about 20 pounds and all. And that's really something, especially when you're going against Georgie, who is just huge. This guy is just a monster. I saw that video of when he was talking to Artem, and he put his arm in his forearm, and it looked like a leg, bro. That thing was just so
Yeah.
big and thick.
In person, it's even bigger. Believe me, in person, it's huge. It's unimaginable how someone can have such a big hand.
Yeah, and I gotta imagine that that weight difference is gonna definitely play a factor in there. So personally, I think I said this yesterday. I think Georgie's gonna surprise the community because as of right now, everybody's like, oh, Artem Morozov takes it, he's going right through him and all. And I just went out there and I said, nah, man, I think Georgie is gonna shock everybody right now, and he's gonna get the win. So, and he's also peaked out and ready because he had WAF coming up. So he's definitely coming in dialed in. So
Yeah, for sure. It could happen, definitely. He is not someone to take lightly and, to kind of mess around with. He is really dangerous. When
yeah.
he gets into that position, and he certainly will, it's really hard to work around it.
Let me ask you, Reno, what happened with him and Jerry? Because I understand what you were saying, where he kind of took everything from Jerry, was top rolling, had him right down by the head, but
Yeah,
couldn't finish the job. How come he couldn't finish the job?
I think because in the second or third match, I don't really know which match exactly, he tore his pec. Um, that's one of the issues, and a bunch of other stuff that he talked to me in private. But it's also because he simply couldn't do a transition. If he could have stayed in this position for a bit longer and just came up behind the arm and pressed Jerry, I think he would have won quite easily. But you know, I think exactly because of the pec issue, and I believe he had some pain, that he was actually even scared to do a transition so he wouldn't hurt himself.
Yeah, I do remember something like that. And another tidbit that I want to throw in there is, when you pull Jerry Catterett, you are very liable to get hurt. This man's style is just like no other. Everybody
Yeah,
else pulling on the table and Jerry is pushing. So, it's definitely an
but it's
unorthodox.
amazing how he doesn't get hurt. That's incredible. I would even say that his positions are more vulnerable to like being hurt or getting hurt than anyone else that he pulled against. So it's incredible that he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, it was just I couldn't understand, just like you were saying with Georgie, where Georgie had everything he wanted and he still couldn't end him. And it was just like, what was Jerry doing? He was just like stuffing him and blocking it.
Yeah,
And
I
it
think Jerry didn't let Georgie have a second of a break. Jerry just continued constantly pushing, even if he like was in the losing position. He didn't give up, and that's definitely a part of the success why he actually managed to beat Georgie.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. And from the Armor Historian, what's up, Armor Historian? He says, Reno, do you ever have plans to bulk up to a higher weight, perhaps later in your career?
Yes, because I'm finding it increasingly difficult to keep my weight lower than it is already. So, like being at 115 kilos is pretty comfortable for me, but it's very easy for me to go higher than that. But just because of my personal like health and my well-being, I just want to stay a bit lower on the weight because I love to eat too much. So that's an issue. So definitely because of my well-being, I will try to stay on the lower classes in the lower classes, but eventually I will go into the super heavyweights.
Sounds good. Also, guys, if you're in the chat and you're enjoying this content, please hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And also get over to Reno's when you get a chance and check out his YouTube channel and click that subscribe button. Like I said, he's got amazing training videos on there. You should definitely check out. So now I want to bring up to the main event match, and that being Jerry Catterett versus Hermes Gasparini. And wow, man, this is I see fireworks coming on this one, and we've been waiting
Yeah.
quite a long time for this match to actually go down. And this weekend, it's about to go down. What's your thoughts on this, bro? Who do you have first off taking the win that night?
It's difficult to say, but I'm definitely more on the side of Hermes just because of his recent lifts on back pressure. I think that's incredible. And as long as Hermes doesn't, take Jerry a bit, like calmly, and as long as he's really focused and fast on the start, I think that he could beat Jerry. But if he does something similar that he did with Dave, he will definitely make a big mistake, and I think that Jerry could win as well, just because Jerry really does prefer someone to pull a bit slower, and I don't know, we will see, but I do have Hermes as the favorite.
What you mean against Dave was, kind of where he kind of went to catch him, is what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, dude. If he does that to Jerry, it's
No way.
a long day for him, because that's going to get right on his bicep, and now you're in Jerry's track. So
Yeah, especially because the match is going to be even more interesting because they got beef between each other, and it's been hyped for so long, and it's like the king of top roll versus the king of flop press, and that's going to be very interesting.
I agree with that, and this will give us the super heavyweight champion of East versus West, so we can iron this out and see who the real, well, technically number one, but number two in the world, and I'm interested in that. I also wanted to bring up, we obviously seen the match Levon versus Hermes and all, and we took out of there that Levon wasn't so indestructible, that Hermes might have had something for him. What do you think of a possible match between Jerry Cataract and Levon, after we seen that Hermes seemed to have some success with going in the press?
I think if Levon doesn't change something going into the match against Jerry, he will definitely have a huge problem with Jerry, because Jerry will definitely tire him out. As we saw, even if Levon flash pins Hermes, he got tired. So if you get a tiny stop on Levon, he will get tired even more, which Jerry definitely would if he doesn't change his angles or the way that he attacks his arm. So I think that definitely Jerry would be able to win Levon if Levon doesn't change something in his game.
Wow, that would be crazy. For real.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about, we recently, in the last couple of days, there's been a lot of switches going on with Gennady after backing out because he had the bicep tear, and we all know that they were supposed to have a rematch between Devin and Gennady. Well, now things have got switched up a little, and as of yesterday, we heard that Artem Morzov was going to be pulling Devin in East versus 9, and that was going for like a day, and then right after that, we hear that Artem had to drop out. We were previously talking about his stomach issues and all, so he had to decline that. So with that being said, Devin Laratt went out and made a challenge video, and he called out Denis Saplankov. And where it got interesting for me was it wasn't just the right arm. He actually called him out on the left as well. He was talking. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that, bro? First off, do you think this match could potentially happen in August, or is it too quick for that to happen and we need more time? And then also, who do you think is going to be the favorite going into that match?
I think the match won't happen in August, just because I watched a video. I don't remember, was it from Aussie arm wrestler or from someone like that, that said that Denis actually declined Devin's offer and he won't be arm wrestling with him just because he needs a bit more time to prepare. And if the match did happen, and let's say that Denis was really well prepared, it would be, I think, really difficult for Devin, even though they have really similar styles of arm wrestling. But we do know that Denis, when he gets into that King's move and when he's really ready, he could hold on for days. So I don't know. When I was watching the sparring video with Zaur and Denis, and the way that Denis actually managed to tire out Zaur after 2 pulls was just incredible to me. So I think that going into that match, if Dennis is well prepared, I think he might be the favorite. But it could go really either way. Even though I can't imagine Devin winning, it's hard for me to imagine Devin winning the whole match. Maybe like a few matches, one or two, but I don't know. I think endurance would really show in that match who has the better endurance.
Do you think, though, if they pulled today, do you still think Dennis would be the favorite? Or does he?
No. Today, like if it happened in August, I know that Dennis wouldn't be well prepared. Then I would have Devin definitely for the favorite.
So in your eyes, how long does Dennis need to get that, to be prepared to take out Devin?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to predict. I don't know how Dennis trains or anything like that. But I would say a solid like 3 months of really good preparation would be enough for someone like Devin, if you were going up against Devin.
We have a question from Couch Apple, and it says, question to Reno. What was your experience with practice pull with Sandras? With Wright, I felt it was surprisingly even. Sandra Sidis.
Yeah, we were both a bit tired. I think we were in Switzerland at the time that we were pulling, and we were quite even. We were both quite tired. We've been pulling already like for an hour and a half. So if we went fresh on fresh, I don't know how it would be. And I really am looking forward to the Worlds because he'll be in my class as well. At least I'm expecting him to be in my class. So we will see how that goes in like a month. But yeah, it was really, really close between us two.
Who do you see, if you had to pick one athlete, who is the biggest threat to you style-wise in your class?
In my class?
Yes.
Style-wise, I don't know anyone who like make that I would have an issue with. But strength-wise, definitely Sandris is one of them. I don't know really anyone else. Just Sandris. Really, in the seniors. But in youth class, I think I will have a harder time in the youth class this year on Worlds than seniors, just because Bacho is coming and one Kazakhstani arm wrestler as well. He's 18 or 19 years old. I just know his surname. I keep forgetting his name, and I'm so sorry about that. His surname is Roman, and he's just amazing as well. I had a long match with him in the finals last year in juniors, and man, he's really strong. And what I see on his Instagram page, I see him only getting stronger. So it's definitely going to be more difficult in the youth class.
Now, you said who would be the hardest style-wise. Now, if you had to pick one person on this planet, you could pick anybody. Doesn't have to be your weight class. Who would your dream match be against?
Dream match. Probably against Jerry.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How come you say Jerry?
Because I prefer the press as well. I think it's one of my main techniques as well, and Jerry does as well. So it would be an interesting match between us two. If we go press against press, who is like better, who's faster, who has a better angle of attacking, I think that would be really interesting.
That would be, but bro, I don't know, man. You'd have to, that's like, he's got like 80, 90 pounds on you. I would not look forward.
I don't have problems with people being heavier than me, honestly. That's fine.
What would the key be for you to get that win? Would it be speed, or would it be
Yeah,
it would be speed, right?
speed and the technique would have to be really perfect, and I would have to time it really well. Which I think I actually have it like really close to being like ideal for flop wrist pressers. I'm definitely onto something when it comes to like developing a good technique to counter them. But
Hermes should be hitting you up right now, huh?
Oh no! I think Hermes is like a horrible match for me just because of the size of his hand, and top rollers do not suit me that well.
What I meant by that was that Ermi should be hitting you
Oh,
asking
yeah,
you
yeah,
how to beat Jerry.
yeah. He should.
Now, Reno, I know you said you're a presser. Are you a flop presser or a regular, shoulder roll?
I can do either way.
Okay.
I usually attack with just a regular press, and if somebody just applies too much pressure to my wrist, I just let my wrist go and then I flop. So I transition from a normal press to a flop wrist press.
Now, what are some exercises that you do that help with that press move?
I don't train my triceps at all. I don't train my shoulders at all. I don't train my uh, my chest at all. I did train it. I was training my chest and shoulders and triceps around 3 years ago, and then I stopped and I just started focusing on my arm. And what I do realize is that I think that the tricep has little to do with the press. I rely that my press. I get the strength from my press simply from my bicep leaning on to my brachioradialis right here, like this, when it's all tensed up. And then I have a good distance between my shoulder and my arm. And then I press through that. I don't do any of this. Like, this is pointless. You can't really beat anyone with that. There's not enough strength in that move. So leaning your arm on your bicep when it's like all tensed up and nice and big, that's where you get the strength from your press.
I actually seen on one of your videos you had on your side pressure training, and I believe you gave 3 exercises on that. So
I think I gave one like exercise that is ideal for side pressure training, but like it's more for defensive kind of style or even attacking. But when you're being like completely static, so it's simply keeping your arm in the middle of your body like this, and there's a weight pulling this way, and you keep that weight. You keep your arm away from your shoulder, and you train it like that.
well, I definitely, I watched that and I was like, you know what, I got to try this out. I'm going to start adapting into my program. So I thank you for that one, because I was definitely, I actually.
No problem.
So I also want to bring up, we got a couple other great matches going on that day. And one of the guys that we talked about was Sandras Sadis. And we know that Sandras has got his hands full that day, and he's going to be pulling Pavlo Derbenyayev. Pavlo is a beast, dude, on a table. He'd be posting these videos, and, he's benching like 500 pounds. I mean, the dude looks like a bodybuilder. He is just unbelievable, like a specimen. But Sandras definitely is going to have the advantage as far as levers and, the height advantage and all. So who do you think gets the win that day?
I think Sandras will beat Pablo simply because I find Sandras to be more technically better than Pablo. Pablo does have definitely a strong hand and strong biceps. I'm not saying that he's weak in any of those spots, but I think that Sandras, with his speed and like a variety of his techniques, I think he could beat Pablo quite easily if he doesn't mess up in any of those moves.
Does Pavlo get any wins, any match on that one?
If Sandras goes inside, I think Pablo could beat him, but I don't know if Sandras will allow him to go inside. But if the match goes into a hook, Pablo has a better chance of beating Sandras. Definitely.
Guys, if you haven't already, man, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't, also make sure you subscribe to the channel. And then want to just finish off this East versus West card, and with this last match I want to bring up, and that being Chance Shaw versus Oleg Petrenko. What's your thoughts on that match?
I think Chance Shaw is going to win. Just because Petrenko's right arm is not as strong as his left arm. And what we saw in the match that Petrenko had with John is that he is extremely slow on the start, and he doesn't really use any techniques. At least that's what I saw. He just starts pulling like this sideways, which I think favors Chance way more than Petrenko. but Chance has, of course, that explosive start that attacks the wrist, and that will definitely be a problem for Petrenko. And if he doesn't go at least a bit faster, there's no way he's beating Chance, even like one round, hardly beating him.
Wow. Yeah, Chance definitely has that killer low hand top roll. So
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna come into play. But yeah, I wasn't too sure about that one. I thank you for giving me that prediction, because I've been going back and forth. I wasn't really too sure who's going to get the win that day, but I just about that match. It's going to be a good one. So when do you leave for Turkey, bro?
Tomorrow at 4 in the morning.
And
I go.
Sorry.
I'm going to Zagreb to the airport, and then I'm leaving at 8 for Istanbul.
And how long of a trip is it to Istanbul for you?
2 hours, not too long.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Now, do you have any special, preparations you do for the actual match, like the couple days leading up? Is there any kind of special nutrition plan or anything to get ready?
Not really. I do take some supplements. I do take like fish oil, so omega-3, and I take, what else do I take? I take creatine and all that kind of stuff, but I really haven't been taking it for like the last month. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm just too lazy to take those supplements. I don't know why, but there's not any really special preparation for the match. I am definitely eating as less as possible so I can cut weight for the class. Right now I'm at like 111 kilos. I need to lose 1 more kilo. And I think that won't be really an issue, but it definitely is hard when you can't eat anything all day.
And how's your nerves, bro? Are they starting to kick in? Are you getting a little nervous, or not at all? You're calm and confident, ready to go?
Right now I'm not nervous, but before, like every battle, before I get on to the stage, I do get like really nervous. So when the first match passes, that's when I get a little bit more relaxed and into like my zone.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, is there anybody that's going with you that, be in your corner? Do you have any coach, or, is your mentor?
Yeah, my dad is coming with me, and Alexander as well, and one more referee is coming with us as well.
Oh, wow. You're coming in with the crew. I like that.
Yeah.
So, Reno, before we call it a day, I just wanted to ask for myself. I'm a new arm wrestler. My second amateur tournament just won. Just wanted to get some tips from you, bro. Like, what can I do, for progression? Anything I could do to speed things up, or any recommendations?
Well, I recommend you to, and any new arm wrestlers as well, to have a bit less table time. And if you do want to have table time, do it like pretty slowly, and don't pull like a maniac and get hurt and sore, because that will only hinder you in your future training. Train like do some research on like progressive overload. That's like the best thing that you can do for strength development, and only like do that. You can do full body, of course, exercises, but ever since I stopped training the rest of my body and only my arms, I did see a noticeable difference in my strength on the table. But over the years, you do like have some pain in your shoulders just because they are not really adapted to the power of your arms. So I do work them here and there, but that would be one of my tips. And don't give up. Sometimes you're definitely going to go through tough times where you'll feel like you're getting weaker and you're declining in strength, but it will all pass, and eventually you will get even stronger. And you just need to like trust the process and keep working until you succeed.
Now, you said cut back on table time. For a beginner arm wrestling, what is the ideal amount of times to train on the table in a month, so to say?
Well, I would say like once a month is fine.
Okay.
Once a month, and really going over every single technique that you can, and really refining the way that you do that technique. And even those you might think you mastered some technique on the side table, until you get into a competition and on that table, when the referee sets everything up right, if you manage to do that technique that you were training correctly, then in the competition, then you know that you have mastered it, and that you're ready to do it. But until then, you won't really know if you actually learned that technique.
You know what's funny, bro, is when I'm in practice, I do a lot of top rolling and all that. So, when I was going to my first tournament, I had in my head, I'm probably going to be top rolling and all. Well, I just kind of just didn't think of anything, bro, and just let myself go. Next thing, I start high hooking. I never high hook in practice,
Yeah,
but in a tournament, it works. And
yeah, yeah. It's a
everybody,
different environment. It's more strict. It's everybody's ready, everybody's pumped up. You're more nervous because you don't want to lose, of course. So definitely it will be different.
yeah, it definitely was. Well, Reno, I want to thank you for coming on, brother. And I really want to wish you the best of luck this weekend. I hope you get the win, and really looking forward to seeing your progression in the sport, and also really encourage you to want to see this match between you and Bacho, bro. I know the whole
Yeah,
community.
it will definitely happen. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, I
Thank
can't.
you so much.
And is there anything else you would like to say before we call it a day, brother?
Uh, I want to thank everybody who is following me and hyping me on, and believing in me that I can win against Terence, and everything else that I do. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I cannot thank you enough.
Well, thank you again, brother, and go kick some ass this weekend in Istanbul, bro.
Thank you. I will.
Later, man.